Delainey was a happy, healthy 2-year-old, and one day she came back from her grandma's house, and I looked at her, decided she's not feeling too good, and so I kind of felt her, and she was just kind of not herself, and I took a closer look a few minutes later, and she had all these little bumps on her face. So we took her in, and they did a blood test on her, and we were just pulling into the driveway, and I got the call that we think your daughter has leukemia. I cried. I was in shock. We just thought it was a blood test. They're gonna say she's got the flu.
But when we got there, it was a flurry of activity. They couldn't get her registered fast enough, hooked her up to IVs right away, getting platelets, red blood, nurses and doctors coming in, turning on these bright lights, and she just screamed. It was the most awful experience we had to put her through.
They said that it was not leukemia, but they didn't know what it was. It was some type of a blood cancer, but it was not leukemia, and that scared us even more.
And then the doctors looked at us very candidly and said, and it's a 30 to 60% chance of her surviving.
It took them 10 days to tell us that she had MDS, which is myelodysplastic syndrome, and they needed to do a bone marrow transplant on her, and we needed to find a donor.
We all woke her up with the chat that was going on in the room, and she kind of looked at me, and I just kind of soothed her back to sleep, singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And I said, you know, there's hope out there.
The radiation was horrible, you know, for us to think having that little 2-year-old body in there, you know, getting total body radiation, and chemotherapy, just her losing her hair. We had to cut off her long, beautiful, curly hair.
She did not want to eat at all, and she was kind of losing weight a little bit. She was stuck in the house. She was on home isolation, couldn't go anywhere. We had to screen people who came in to visit her. She had to wear a mask just to walk outside. The doctors at Sutter Memorial, Dr. Yim, Dr. Lee, Dr. Shu, the greatest team of pediatric oncologists, they got in there, they worked the hardest that they could to find what could they do. So they were looking at a clinical trial with a half match.
And so they said that there was, that they could test me and her dad, that we may be, you know, a half match. And so I was like, okay, I'll do whatever, just tell me what I need to do. And they found me to be 6 out of 10 of a match for her.
We've just now found out the good news that she is 100% cancer-free and that all of her cells are now donor cells.
They took my marrow, and I saved her life. She's my little miracle. I feel like LLS, you know, is a big part of the reason why Delainey is cured now, because all of the research and all of the studies they've done in order to know what they needed to do to cure my little girl, the society is just awesome.
The research that goes in to make these things happen, you know, you just have to have so much gratitude for what they've done, and leukemia and lymphoma playing a huge part in all of that research. And as she enters kindergarten, the whole world opens up for her yet again. She was in her karate class, which again, she's taken dance and karate through all of this as a normal kid would. And the karate teacher sat all the kids down in a little circle one day, and he said he wanted to talk about goals. And he said, so tell me, what do you want to be when you grow up? She said she wanted to be a doctor. And I thought, you know, that just makes so much sense, and maybe she'll be the one that finds the cure so that no other family has to go through what all of the families of the children with leukemia or MDS, which she had, all of the blood cancers. Maybe she's the one.